So the question is about a heartbeat bill to protect life when there's a detectable heartbeat. Look, I think I understand that you're going to have different states do that differently. I don't think like a New Hampshire is going to do what Iowa did. I recognize that. I understand that. I understand Pennsylvania may not do what Texas did. But I think in places where you have an opportunity to make an impact, we want to stand on the side of a culture of life. I mean, New Hampshire, for example, is more liberal than some of these states, say in like the South or the Midwest. But the Democrats here wanted nothing, no protections. So New Hampshire did, I think, 24 weeks. The Democrats said all the way up until birth, you could somehow snuff out an innocent life. That is wrong. So their extremism on this issue is what we have to guard against. We've got to fight back against that, and we need to hold them accountable, because what the media will do, the media will run cover for them. They'll say, oh no, they don't believe that. They've never said that. And literally, you can put a list of interviews where they will be asked, when do you believe there's protection? They will not say it. So when you talk about things like up until birth, that's fundamentally wrong, and we are not going to allow that to happen in the United States of America. We're going to stand for the Second Amendment, and I think part of that will be we're going to appoint judges to the courts of appeals and the district court that are going to be committed to upholding the Second Amendment. And quite frankly, this current Supreme Court, even though they did the Heller decision, they've shied away from accepting cases where these blue states have overstepped. And I think part of that is because the intermediate courts have basically let a lot of this slide. The reality is this is a constitutional right. And I know the left doesn't like that, but you don't get to pick and choose. You have to enforce the Constitution as it is. What I will definitely not do, and that this is both Biden and the Trump administrations have attempted, to do restrictions on Second Amendment rights through the bureaucracy by doing administrative rules. That is totally outside the bounds of what is acceptable for the federal government to be doing. Bureaucrats issuing rules without Congress, that we've got to stop that. I mean, that's gone way, way too far. So we're going to be standing up for So questions about Social Security. So first of all, senior citizens have been made promises. Madam President, those will be honored. You're going to get your Social Security benefits. I know it's important. Heck, in Florida, I definitely know it's important. We've got a lot of elderly. I also know, just from my personal experience, my grandmother lived till 91. And Social Security was her sole source of income. And that's true for a lot of seniors. And when you have high costs, it's become very difficult. One of the things that's been difficult for Social Security's finances is because we've had inflation, that triggers cost of living increases, understandably, because people need that. But those cost of living increases cost the program more, but they do not make seniors whole, because it doesn't keep up with the true rate of inflation, certainly at the grocery store and all that. So one of the things we're going to do is get inflation down. That's going to be the best thing for seniors on fixed income. That will help Social Security stabilize. But we also have to point out, if you look at the trillions and trillions of dollars that have been added to our debt in the last 5 or 6 years, under both Republicans and Democrats, by the way, these Republicans in Washington, they talk about being fiscally responsible, but they have added just as much to the debt, unfortunately, as the Democrats. That's just the truth. And in Florida, we've reduced our debt just since I've been governor by almost 25%. We've run big surpluses, all that. But that has been, Congress has caused this massive increase in debt. It has not been because of Social Security. So we're going to make sure that folks get what they need. Obviously, people in my generation, we'll work together. We'll work on a bipartisan basis to ensure, that the program is sustained and strengthened. But seniors are going to get their benefits, and so don't worry about it.